Alright, high school in 10 minutes or less. I started before, but then I didn't have the power plugged in. So I thought that what I was going into wasn't really that important, so I decided to try again. I really loved art. I didn't know that I loved art so much till I got into high school. And I had a teacher, Charles Schwartz was his name, and he was cool. He was just relaxed. And for several years, I just would hang out. My friend Patrick was in there, Pat, and we would just do art, listen to music. And that was one of the greatest things, to be in school and be listening to the radio, top 40 tunes, Def Leppard and the like. And there was only myself, Pat, and one other guy who was kind of kept to himself, and then about like 20 females. So females and music, what was not to like? I just kept taking art classes, and I think that with a female energy I was always looking to compensate for what was missing at home in terms of the lack of contactfulness with myself and the mom and sis dynamic. So I also went to an after-school program, which before I could drive, you know, get rides from my friend's family most of the time. And that was really cool because I got exposed to, they had like an artist in studio who would come in, have different people, but the one that was there the longest was from Detroit, and he purchased one of my pieces that was kind of like an image of Gandhi behind some broken glass and a painted red piece of wood with a coat hanger. And I remember when we went on a tour of the museum in Detroit and we went to his house, it was there in his living room wall, and it was a real confidence booster for me to have sold a piece to an artist that he displayed. And the whole vibe, they would take a few students from each school, so I was fortunate enough to get to do this. They would put all these kids from the different high schools in one place, and it was my first exposure to gay students. And I actually found out later when my friend Pat and I went back to visit one of the people we knew from that realm that she said everyone thought he and I were gay, which was shocking because we were very focused on girls, but we didn't apparently exude that, and we always arrived together, so I guess we were gay by association in this environment. But I would do like a painting every time I was there. Very rarely did I work on something for more than one session. It was about 3 hours or so that we would be there, and just pounding out art and just enjoying the environment. Again, music, feminine energy. It was really an enjoyable time, and something that I'm really grateful that I got to experience. I had my first relationship related to art, because my first sexual relationship, I went to a camp and almost got sent home early because it was a 2-week thing, and after the first week, myself and 2 female friends that I'd met up there decided that we were going to break the don't leave campus rule at Northern Michigan University where the camp was held and go to see the Loverboy concert. I was a big Loverboy fan, Turn Me Loose, and then Quiet Riot was opening for them. The, you know, Mental Health and, oh, Come On Feel the Noise was huge at that time. So we had a great time, but we wore our little ticket stubs in our name tags when we got back. And right in front of the camp counselors and stuff. And we also tricked one of the camp counselors, set up this whole kissing booth thing. The girls had little kisses drawn everywhere and stuff. And we're bringing him in and then had him close his eyes, and then we hit him in the face with a pie. But what was he doing in a kissing booth? He was an adult. These were 16-year-olds. So I met my first girlfriend there, and we continued a long-distance relationship for about a year. And that led me to my first heartbreak, because I really fell hard for her. I mean, I just really wanted to get married, and I realized that Florida was the best place to go because of my fond memories of Disney World. But she was more pragmatic, and over time, she figured out that I wasn't going to be good marrying material. I had still growing up to do, and she thought that I was going to Michigan Tech just because she was, which was completely true. I was a total liberal arts person, so to go study mechanical engineering, she was a year ahead of me, so I had time to decide, but I did it anyways after she broke up with me. And I thought for a time that she was pregnant. She missed 2 or 3 periods. It was horrible. I really thought I was a parent at 16. And I just felt like things were over, but I didn't process it with my family, of course. I didn't process it hardly at all with my friends. And she just prayed all the time, and apparently she prayed hard enough because she started menstruating again. But anyways, that breakup with her was just really felt cold. I was very confused why it felt so close and then it felt so cut off all of a sudden. And I think that she had been seeing someone else behind my back as somebody that she was going to go to prom with instead of me, so that was really upsetting. And then about a year later, I dated a woman who, that was a strange situation because she was kind of church-oriented, I guess, and just really thought that was a big deal. And I feel like she was going to get real excited about me, some upcoming event, and it turned out to be some church thing, and I was like, what? And but there was a time when her parents were out of town that I went to see the movie Cocoon with a friend of mine and his girlfriend instead of going to see my girlfriend. And I was going to see her later, but she took to the bottle because of my decision to go see Cocoon. And she was like wasted by the time I showed up with her. So I think that was the only kind of ejaculatory experience I had, hand stuff going on there. But she threw up first, and it was just like very tragic. And I was thinking earlier in terms of what events during high school stood out, and I thought about the symbolism of the dichotomy between Cocoon and my current interest in living forever and highly evolved beings and high intelligence forms that we don't yet understand, and just, you know, won't ever get old, won't ever die. And then the temporal material world of this drunk woman with apparently low self-esteem that was uncomfortable with me going to a movie and delaying contact for a couple hours. So it was kind of symbolic. I've thought about the symbolism of the Cocoon versus drunk girlfriend drama. But we went back and forth for a while, and eventually I moved away before college, so that was that. You know, an interesting thing that happened, there were 2 interesting things during high school that have stayed with me. And one was, I was playing tennis, played tennis for like my junior and senior year, I believe it was, and maybe it was just my junior year, I don't know. But I was playing against a team in doubles, and the coach came over, and he recognized that my partner and I were really playing down to a lower level, that we should have been, like, he and I were undefeated, my partner and I were undefeated during the regular season, and so our coach just came over and started yelling at us. And at the time I was like, what are you doing? We're winning, you know, we're doing fine, and what are you freaking out about? But that really stayed with me as a lesson about not playing down to other people's levels, because I think that in order to be liked, that's something I've done a lot, is to adjust to lower vibrations to fit in. And a similar thing happened in driver's ed. 2 of the girls in our school that I had the biggest crush on were in my little group, and they were in the back seat, and I was driving, and the instructor was next to me, and I went to pass a car on the highway, and then I didn't really pay attention to the dynamics of how adults drove much when I was in a car, so I passed, and then I started slowing down, but I started slowing down too much to the point where the car behind me would have to slow down or run into me, and the driver instructor, who was normally really cool and calm, not cool, but calm, just started speeding up and freaking out. He's like, what are you doing? And I think that was another intense experience, so that I would remember the symbolism of when you're passing somebody, just keep going in life. I think you know what I'm saying. Thanks.